My name is Alexandra Wilson, more often known as Distance, and thank you for joining me on this IndieGogo campaign. I'm really excited. I've never done this before. I'm a little bit nervous, but I've been working years to get to this point, so let's get rolling. I want to tell you what this is all about. I invented a piece of technology that's really going to help humanity, help our country, help the planet, help our economy, prevent wildfires, pay teachers, and it's going to help create thousands of jobs across the nation. And these are going to be actually really healthy, well-paying, beautiful jobs for people who don't need any experience. The piece of technology is called the Wild Living Skills Database and Smartphone app. The construct that is going to be used to help build this app is on wildlivingskills.org. It will allow you to use your smartphone and a solar panel for free to go out, and you'll be able to identify plants, lichens, mushrooms, trees, shrubs, and other biological organisms faster than ever before possible. The way it's able to do that is we're using GPS, time of year, and elevation responsive questions. So if you've ever tried to identify a biological organism using a book, it takes about 20 questions, and then about every sentence you got to flip to the back of the book to find a glossary word and then flip back. So it's a very tedious science. Since it's co-processing the GPS, time of year, and elevation, it reduces it to about 5 questions, and then whenever you come across a glossary word, you can just touch, press, hold, and you'll see a picture and an explanation. So it makes it much faster, and it also works for desktop computers as well. And what's really neat about this piece of technology is that it can be used so that people can find what's growing around them. They can learn how natives have processed them for thousands of years for their food, utility, and medicinal uses. And you can also find what are called positive impact harvesting techniques. And those are really important because those set of techniques allow us to use this database so that we can form wild harvesting cooperatives and use wildlivingskills.org to coordinate with our national forest and state park officials so that we can legally begin to bring native foods to markets using ecologically restorative techniques. We can start bringing acorn flour, California buckeye nut flour, and pine nuts to our markets. Those are just a few of the products, and you'll see a lot more below in this campaign that can be brought into the markets without damaging and actually while benefiting the ecosystems and preventing unintentional wildfires. We're going to be gathering woods that don't burn clean to build beautiful shelters. The one that you're seeing now isn't finished, and I would like to get further documentation of these, and I know several traditional styles, and so does Lone Wolf. We have a lot to share with you. So wild harvesting cooperative workers will be able to stay inside of these beautiful shelters during their stay at work. These are part of the encampment preparation wildfire prevention techniques. So these are actually put in place before we start harvesting, and that's all mapped out on the website. And these don't take very long to build. I built this one by myself within 4 days. And then during the off-season, campers will be able to come out, and this will help provide beautiful, authentic shelters. Mountain lions and bears won't be able to get in. It'll create a more authentic experience for campers to come enjoy our beautiful national heritage sites. And we're going to be collecting oak wood, which burns very clean, and that'll be used in all of our fire pits. And we have lots of different amazing ancestral cooking techniques as well, which are highly efficient and use very little firewood, much less than conventional fire pits would use. So this is going to help basically anybody that ever goes camping is going to learn some techniques to make their stays in the forests a lot more enjoyable, comfortable, and fun. So oaks, in about August, they dump their seeds that the bugs get into, and they have holes in them. And for thousands of years, native people would rake those leaves into circles along with the bad nuts, control burn it to replenish the soil. And then a month later, when the oaks drop their good acorns, then you've got them right there. You don't got to dig through the leaves. So on the front page of Willpower.org is where I'm bringing together all the resources for people all across the country. So each community, if they want, can form their own wild harvesting cooperative. A cooperative business model helps outdate the standard business model. Last year, the CEOs in America earned an average of 354 times the average worker. So a cooperative business model eliminates the need for a CEO, so we can form our own cooperatives and we can have well-paying jobs for months out in the national forests during harvest season, and we get to walk through the woods, picking up nuts and seeds with our friends, sitting around campfires and singing songs at night. You won't have to pay rent or pay a CEO. And we're going to be helping the forests. We're going to getting people out in healthy jobs. Remember, California, we had all of our Central Valley water supply just cut off to all of our farms due to the drought. So these are actually drought-resilient foods. We have millions and millions and millions and millions of acres across the nation. If you go to the National Forest Service website, it says, "We want to work with your organization." And so it could be your wild harvesting cooperative. And also on the front page of wildwillpower.org, you'll see a list of recommended products. I've been gear testing wilderness equipment for years, and so has one of my teachers, Richard Lone Wolf, who you'll also learn more about in this campaign, and you'll even get to see him teach, and he's way beyond my skills. So you'll be able to get professional grade camping equipment, and I'm going to give you a tour also of some really fantastic gear that you can make yourself just below in this campaign, so that we can travel extremely lightweight, very comfortably out in the woods. And you're going to find out it's a lot more luxurious than like Survivor Man and Dual Survivor and all those make it look. I'm telling you, they're doing a little bit of over-dramatization for television. When you find out how much is grown out here, you're going to be stoked just as I am. So lastly, I just want to tell you what we need from this campaign. And it's just a few things, and it'll help us make this awesome tool and begin to help model the Wild Harvesting Cooperative new economy here in California within this year. Continue documenting the skills of Richard Lone Wolf. First off, that's our big priority. We want to get a vehicle for he and his kids, and also a vehicle for us. We're looking to get a Prius 5 preferably, just because it's the best gas mileage and it's good for camping. It's a little bit bigger than the old model of Prius. So if we get a couple of those, we can get up and down the mountains at a very low cost.
Like I always like to say,
efficiency. It helps you move like a fish in the sea.
Crawl inside the canvas of the painting you've been painting. Be the brush stroke.
We'd like to get a couple camcorders, as you'll see below, so we can produce the most high-quality videos. So whenever you click on something on the database, you'll have a teacher teaching us for free, and they're getting paid. So this is not only going to help sponsor Lone Wolf, but I hope that this compilation of information called Wild Willpower and its websites can help sponsor a lot more teachers in the future. And we're just building it to baseline and getting it up and working as it's designed to operate. An industrial huller from Jesse Equipment Manufacturing. They're over in Chico, California. And the industrial huller is top of the line, and it'll allow us to run all of our nuts through it really quickly, separate the nuts from the shells, and then we want to grit a grain mill. The acorn needs to be ground into flour so that it can be processed. And you'll learn all about how to process it on wildlivingskills.org. There's 4 different methods. Oil presses as well, and there's all sorts of types of oils, walnuts, pine nuts, acorns make premium, beautiful oil. When you taste it, you'll love it.
In our bus, Wild Willpower's team will be making rounds throughout California to help communities run their acorns, buckeyes, and pine nuts through our huller, grain mill, and oil press so that we can model a new economy and pump out a drought-resilient food supply this year. We'll also be filming the process and embedding it throughout the websites so that next year this can be done all across the nation.
The other thing that we're looking to get is a diesel bus. We're going to convert it to vegetable oil, and we're going to put our computer supplies and our books so that we can continue building the database from wherever we are. And you'll see we got more exciting plans, and you can just read about them in this campaign. Okay, so we're having a huddle in the cattails before we go. And then you can move on to the rest of the campaign, and I'll be giving you a tour of my gear as well. And I'm going to be showing people all across the country through this website and in person. I'm going to be training teachers to help you and everybody you know who wants to craft themselves rent-free using secondhand materials and native techniques from around the world and highly efficient, high-tech camping equipment that you'll see on the front page of wildwillpower.org. So I'll give you a tour of that below. And if there's any companies out there who make an alternative to leather, a cruelty-free alternative that's high quality, that wants to work with me, please contact me. I'd love to get these designs so we can get this out to as many people as possible in the most planet and animal and people considerate way as possible. So one last time, I'm just going to take everything we talked about and just give a overview to put it all into perspective. We're going to create wild harvesting cooperatives, file permits with public forest officials, coordinating with them using wildlivingskills.org. We'll be going out and building our shelters, gathering the wood that doesn't burn clean to make shelters, oak for our fire pits, manzanita as well for another type of fire pit. We'll talk about that later. So we'll be gathering the deadwood, raking underneath the oaks, control burning with the bad acorns that had the holes in them, and creating a buffer zone to protect our infrastructure, our homes and our businesses. A month later, we'll come in, gather the acorns, buckeyes, and pine nuts, leaving a third for wildlife. And then Wild Willpower's team, Animal Freedom Street Theater, you'll meet them soon, will be coming through on our bus and helping communities all over the place run their crops, their acorns, buckeyes, and pine nuts through our industrial equipment. So we're going to pump it out using planet-considerate packaging and bulk sections to eliminate waste on the consumer level. Then in the off-season, we have these beautiful shelters will still be in place so your parents can come out there and stay there. You can have a family experience and we can get people out into our national forest enjoying. One less thing to take out there is a tent, and pretty good plan, I think. All right, I love you. Thank you so much for checking this out. I hope you love it. I know this is going to help us so much. That's why I've invested years in doing this and street farming to keep it alive and using Wi-Fi hotspots, because there's no way I could have gotten all this together if I would have gotten a 9-to-5 job. So I'm just giving my all, and if I can get a little bit of reciprocation, just there's perks on the right side of the screen. You pick out 1 or 2 or 3 of those, and that'll help us get what we need, help you get involved, and we can make this happen. And one other way you can really help this campaign if you love it is just share it and put a few words as to why it's important with you. Share it through all your networks, send it to your emails, tell people about it, because this one's really special. Thanks so much, and many blessings to all of you and to all of your families. Namaste. And Wankan Tankan Kichiyun. Together, we're going to have a lot of fun.